Hey guys, this is YGO Silence coming at you with my Pure Spiral deck profile. This deck is very inexpensive and it's very good at what it does. It's a great anti-meta pick in this current meta. Very good matchup with Zoo, with True Draco, with Pure Dino, and it just is very good at what it does. That being said, let's get right into the video. You run two of the boss monster, Phantasm Spiral Dragon. It's just a big beater, alright? Can't put it any other way. It's 2,900, it's pretty stout. You can't really get through it, and it just is very good at getting over stuff. Next, you run 3 Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre is my preferred hand trap. I really do think it is the best you could do, especially with all the crazy field spells going around right now. It's very good at just outing a lot of stuff, stopping problem monsters about to use their effects. You could switch one of these with Max C, but frankly, I don't even like Max C that much, so I think Ghost Ogre is the best. Next, you run 3 Megalo Smasher and 3 Cabazols. Any normal monster will work technically in this deck, but I found that these work best because they're water dinos, and so you could go into a lot of the extra deck stuff you want to work with. Alright, that's it for the monsters. You got a pretty small monster lineup because that's just how the deck works best. Next, you run 3 Pacifist, 3 Terraforming. Pacifist is the best card in the deck. You want to see it as much as humanly possible. And honestly, even with this, you don't see it as much as you'd like. If you open with, 2 or 3 Pacifists and Terraforming, that's not bad. Like, you can work with just Pacifists on the field, and you're still going to do all right. That's how strong that card is. Next, one of the MVPs of this deck, Heatwave. Man, this card is good. This card can only be activated at the start of main phase 1. Neither player can normal or special summon an effect monster until your next draw phase. Oh my god. This card stops your opponent cold. They can't do anything except set a monster and pass. It is nuts. This card doesn't affect you at all because you have no effect monsters in your main deck. So you could do a ton of stuff. This is pretty much skip your opponent. And that's just too strong to not run 3 of. Next, you're going to run 3 Unexpected Die. Unexpected Die is a very good card in this deck because you don't really want to run any more monsters. This doesn't take your special summon or your normal summon, and it allows you to do a lot of good work in XC's plays, which you run a lot of the rank 4 toolbox in this deck. Next, you're going to run 1 Crash, 2 Wave, and 2 Grip. These are the equip spells that work with this deck, and they're all very good with different effects. Spiral Grip increases your monster by 500, which is really nice to do. It makes your monsters even bigger and very difficult to deal with. Also, if you destroy a monster while this card is equipped, you get to summon the big guy and then equip that card to the big guy. So the big guy goes from 29 to 34, and 34 is massive. Spiral Wave is your protection in the deck. It's very good when you're just, trying to survive and get over a big thing. You could just attack into a monster. The only thing is, this summons Phantasm Spiral Dragon after the battle phase, so you can't attack with him in that turn, but you still get him out, which is nice. Crash does piercing damage. You inflict piercing, you do more. You get the Phantasm Spiral out. And all of these have secondary effects. Like this one, when you battle, they discard a card. This one, they take 1,000, and this one, set one of their monsters in defense position, which is all very nice. 1-ofs, 1 Regeki, 1 Upstart. You guys know what Regeki does. It's a great board wipe. It's just good to use. Upstart, this deck is 40 cards right now. Upstart makes it 39. It really helps with the consistency to just keep this deck as small as possible. Next, you're going into traps. You're going to want to run 2 Power and 2 Battle. These are the traps you get to search off of Pacifist, which they're both very good and they both have great effects. Phantasm Spiral Battle, you just get to pop something. Just any card on the field, and it's great to deal with a lot of problem monsters, stop their plays cold. It's just a good way to out things. Phantasm Spiral Power can actually be activated in the battle phase, which is really nice. And so decrease the attack and defense of a monster by 1,000, and their effect is negated. And then the really cool thing about this deck, and one of the things that makes it so strong, is that when you have Pacifist out, all right, and you normal summon, which, if your opponent does anything, you get a token out, which counts as a summon. Alright, normal or special summon a non-effect monster. Then you get to search one Phantasm Spiral card. These. If Umi is on the field, which, if you searched with a token, Umi is on the field, because Pacifist is always called Umi, then you can activate this from the hand. So the second you search this, it's live, which is really, really strong. And so that lets you just do a lot of stuff that your opponent can't play around, and it makes these cards instantly usable. Next, you're going to run 2 Tyrant's Throws. Tyrant Throws is a win condition in itself. If you get this active, if they do not have MST or Twin Twisters, they're done. It's over. They can't do anything. It's like a continuous heat wave. It doesn't affect you at all, but your opponent can only set and pass, and that just makes things extremely difficult on them to try to do things. Next, you're going to run 2 Champion's Vigilance. Champion's Vigilance is like a solemn judgment, just in it itself. And because it only activates when you have a level 7 or higher normal monster, that's why people didn't play it. Well, your tokens are 8. Your big guy is 8. So you can activate this casually, easily. And it's not even that hard. Next, 1 Solemn Warning, 1 Skill Drain. Every time I play this deck, I wish Skill Drain was at 3. It's fair that it's at 1, but if it was at 3, this deck would be tier 0. Unbeatable. You just can't do anything about it. It will just crush you. Alright, that's the main deck. Frankly, you only need the main deck, and it's really inexpensive, but the extra deck does offer some things, outs to big monsters that the main deck may have trouble with, but can still do. The extra deck is mainly for when the field spell is not on the field, and you just can't get it for some reason. So first off, you want to run the Utopia package. I do not have Lightning right now, and it has bit me in the butt many a time. You definitely want to run the Lightning package. You want to eventually get 2 Abyss Dweller. If you really want to be able to use a card in your extra deck, always run at least 2, because that True King Lysogenium, or whatever it's called, the Earth one, goes into your extra deck and pulls stuff out. So if you're running a 1-of, they could take that combo piece away, but if you have 2, you're good. 1 Castell, 2 Bahamut, and then eventually 2 Toads. Toads are expensive. I only have 1, but it's awesome. It's one of the best cards, and it's actually my favorite card in the game. You also want to get Dolka and Lagia. Because these are dinos, you can go into them very easily. And it's just great to have options to deal with a lot of stuff. Alright, next we're going to the side deck. Starting off, 1 Maxi. Now, I said I don't like Maxi that much, but I cannot deny how good it is in the Zoom matchup, or when in a Pendulum matchup, when your opponent is just special summoning out the wazoo. It's a great card to have in those situations, but I don't like it unless I know what my opponent's doing. Want to run 3 Kaijus. Gamma Seal is the ideal one. I do not have Gamma Seal. I have Godarla because it is super cheap. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to use this deck, and I found out I am in love. 3 systems down. Machine-based decks, don't like them. They offer a ton of one-hit kill potential, and I just really don't like dealing with them, so systems down is just a great way to stop a lot of those machine decks that run rampant. 2 Dark Hole, because board wipes are nice. And then the 1 other Champion's Vigilance and Tyrant's Throws. I would also recommend Anti-Spell Fragrance in this, because you still have some slots. You still have, 4 slots that you could do with whatever you want. Alright guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.